Welcome to On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast. I'm Jeff Probst, the host and showrunner of Survivor. Each week, I'm joined by Jay Wolf. He's a Survivor fan and the executive producer of this podcast, and he got a haircut. Hello, Jay.
Hey, Jeff.
We're also joined by former Survivor player, three-time Survivor great, Jeremy Collins. Hello, Jeremy.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Okay, so each week we dissect the biggest moments, the most recent episode of Survivor, and we bring you insights from three different points of view, the fan, the player, and the producer. Let's get into it. Big moments, episode 10. I love this episode, Survivor 49. Jay, where you want to start?
I think we got to start, obviously, at one of the biggest takeaways from this episode, which was the moment that Christina had at the challenge.
What's going on, Christina?
I'm just trying to keep it together, Uncle Jay.
Christina, is part of what's difficult about Survivor, maybe the most obvious, is that right now you don't have anybody to talk to. You know with certainty.
Jeff, I want my mom. I want my mom so bad right now. My mom was my best friend, and anytime I'm struggling, she knew how to make it better. And you don't have anyone out here. And I don't even have my mom anymore, and it's not fair. It's not fair. And I'm just really struggling today, and I'm trying to be thankful. I'm really trying to be really grateful. I'm really trying to dig deep. But I don't know if I have it today.
So good, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Powerful.
A really powerful moment. Jeff, a few weeks ago on this podcast, you told us there was a moment this season where something happened that you didn't even expect from casting.
Right.
Is this what you were referring to?
Yeah. This is it.
Man.
Yeah. Will you tell us a little bit about this moment from your perspective and how it happened?
Well, yeah, we were talking about how much about a player do we know beforehand and how much comes up during their time on Survivor. Well, we knew the importance of Christina's relationship with her mom, and we knew her mom had recently passed, and we knew it may come up for her. And she may decide to talk about it with others. She may decide to talk about it in interview, a little, a lot, not at all. But what nobody can ever predict is how the combination of elements that embody Survivor, the hunger, sleep deprivation, intense heat, no trust, no certainty, complete exhaustion will impact each player. That day was no different than any other day in many ways, but it was clearly a triggering day for Christina.
Yeah.
And I feel compelled to say this because I know you both will get this. There are already people having fun with this moment of true emotion right now. They're making a meme or something like that because they don't know what to do with that kind of vulnerability. So the instinct is to laugh or to poke fun. And that's human too. That's how some people protect themselves from feeling something that maybe they haven't had to deal with yet.
Yeah.
Totally.
But for Christina and the memory of her mom, that just comes with being on Survivor and being willing to let us in. And for anyone who has ever experienced profound loss, for anyone who's ever been in their most vulnerable moment and longed for the one person they can't reach. Yeah, that moment will hit you like a lightning bolt. That wasn't just a breakdown. That was grief. And when it shows up on Survivor, when you're already stripped of everything, it's no longer a game moment. It's just a human moment. And that's all my conversation with Christina was about. It wasn't about fixing it. I just wanted to be there with her to talk about it. So I just asked about her mom. And I think what we saw right there was Christina was really trying to feel her mom's presence and not just her absence. And I know I don't have to say this, but it is a very clear example of what I mean when I say the game is the lure, the experience is the prize. And when you're willing to step into that arena and take on your life adventure, amazing things can, will, and often do happen.
Jeremy, was there a moment like that for you when you were out there any of your 3 times where something just triggered you and you were able to experience it in a new way?
I feel like all the time out there when you're by yourself, a lot of times when you lose an alliance member or even you get blindsided, you do feel alone. And you just want somebody out there to talk to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like your person. So I don't know if I had a moment that powerful, but like I felt for her. Like I had goosebumps watching this.
Right.
And then she starts talking about her mom, and like I had tears in my eyes. Like I lost my parents. So I felt that urge to want to talk to your mom and dad. Like I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being alone. You know, I've been there, Jeff. When your words were being blurred, as a player, I've been there.
Wow. Huh.
Things are going on and my head is like a blur. So it's so real that you guys were able to translate that to the TV, because as a player, that really happened.
Jay, should we just dovetail into the why? Because it speaks to what Jeremy's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask about the sound design, so go ahead.
Jeremy, I love that you said that, because I didn't have any idea that happens for the player. What we were trying to do, and that the editor in this scene is somebody we've been talking about a lot lately, Jim Ciccarello. He edited this scene as well. We brought him up a few times. But what's really powerful for me to hear is that it related in a way that we didn't even understand. We were trying to do what Jeremy spoke to, which is give the audience some idea of what it's like to be in a moment like this, where you're overwhelmed, and here I am yapping and I'm explaining a challenge or whatever it is, and you just can't focus on it anymore. Yeah. And to hear you say that, Jeremy, that really happens, that these voices start to fade away and whatever is consuming you is now taking over. And what you saw with Christina was her internal emotions just bubbling until finally that pain can release with this cry for her mom. And what I liked about this, and the reason we're so sensitive to how we edit these scenes, is it can't be exploitive. It has to serve a purpose. And Jeremy, you just verified for me, it served a purpose. That is what it feels like. In terms of the how, I think it's worth noting that these kinds of decisions are being made in the Survivor edit bays all season long. And some of them are dramatic and they get more attention because they're splashy and fun, or they're subtle and emotional. But all of our editors are Hall of Fame. And the thing that sets each one apart is their specific point of view. And here's the thing, Jay and Jeremy, sometimes that point of view is so subtle and so sophisticated that the work is happening underneath the scene. It's never meant to be seen by the audience. Quite the opposite. The beauty of the storytelling is you don't notice what's happening. Those are the moments that nobody ever singles out. And yet they are often the purest expression of the craft. And what gives all of our editors that freedom to go where they want is the collective permission that exists on our entire team in every single department. That's a big part of the DNA of Survivor, is follow your bliss. Go where you go, and our show will probably be better because of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Not a lot of shows work that way. All right, let's talk about what came next. It's an audio medium, but we saw Christina do something incredible, so I just want to play back this moment of her on the beam.
Keep going, Christina! Hang on! You're still on! Christina, hanging on! Christina, you are still on that beam!
No, you're right there, you're right there, you're right there!
Pull yourself up!
You got it, you got it, you got it, girl! Do it for your mom! You can do it! You can do it! You can do anything, Christina! You got this! You got this! You got this!
Unbelievable
You
effort!
got this! You got this, girl! Keep on fighting! Fight!
Whoa! Never seen anything like that!
That is how you do it.
Look at Christina go! Christina, you are fighting for this reward!
Wow.
I love that. I love it.
Rocky 7, starring Christina.
Yeah.
Jeff, you see stunning things every season. Does this still shock you?
Yeah, it's weird to hear that played back, because I'm so proud of everyone. I'm proud of our team that captured it. I'm proud of Christina. I'm impressed with all her tribe mates who were there saying, come on, you can do it, even if they were on the other tribe. You know, it surpassed Survivor. And it's kind of hard to express what it's like to witness that because you're in it too. I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes ago she was brought to her emotional knees. And now here she is literally hanging from a beam of wood in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with her life in the game on the line. And somehow she does what seemed impossible.
Yeah.
She pulled herself back up because we all know if that was a Sunday afternoon and for some reason Christina thought it'd be fun to try this crazy obstacle course, there is zero chance she pulls herself up.
Yeah.
Right.
And when people talk about another gear or digging deeper and all that stuff, I say, I get it, but I really don't think that's what it is. I don't think that's even adrenaline. I think that is purpose. I think she connected to something that mattered in a way she didn't even fully have time to process. And she was carrying this energy from her mom. And it can become spiritual in that sense of, you know, your kid is trapped under a car and suddenly you lift the car up.
Yes.
Is that adrenaline? I don't know. I'm trying to save my kids. So I'm just saying, I think that strength is in all of us. It's just that we don't often need it or get a chance to use it. And this was a case where Christina got a chance to use it and she did use it. And think about her bigger purpose. I'm out here for me to reclaim parts of my life and also to show my kids never stop fighting for your dreams. She did all of that in the span of 10 minutes.
Yes, yes. I agree. I agree with that. Yes, 100%. Gives me goosebumps, man. We talk about that next gear and like people don't know when you're out there playing, you're exhausted. I'll tell you a story. When we would walk on the beach, I would look for the sand closest to the water because it's harder than the dry sand.
Right.
And I would walk on that because walking on dry sand would take that much more energy out of us.
Yeah.
So people don't know how tired you are. Your baseline is exhaustion. Then you have to go and fight for your life in the game. You really do have to dig deep, and you have to go to that next gear, you know? And I don't know how you find it, but you do find it. Christina actually went even deeper to the next gear and said, this is for my mom. Like, it's such a beautiful thing. This is really awesome. This is such a good episode, man.
Well, I would say, Jeremy, that purpose that Jeff was just talking about, I assume you went there for Val and for your kids in the moments where you had to.
My whole game is all I did was I was like, I got to do this for Val. I got to do this for the kids. Like that was my baseline. And, you know, sometimes I play too hard because of that. So you have to find the right key, the right note, the right moment to just turn it up and notch it up at the right time. And it turns out to be a beautiful moment on television, like for the world to see. It's so wild, man.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next moment. After this reward, unfortunately, Christina's group did not win. She felt okay about it anyway. A different group goes to the sanctuary for the first time this season for double cheeseburgers. And back on the beach, Jawan decides that he wants to lift everybody's spirits just a little bit.
Everyone has their own breaking point, and we're hungry. We're tired. It's a funeral. It's like someone's cat just died. But I do like to make people feel good, you know?
I just want to make sure we get some food, you know?
Yeah.
You know, we got fishing gear.
I know.
I could try to take a shot at it.
So if we were back at home with my friends and they were sad, I would bust open some snacks. We don't got snacks out here. What I do have is the Hawaiian sling. So why not try to catch some fish? I'm no Aussie. I'm just this small black nerd from South Jersey. I feel like a fish out of water. This is new territory for me. The fish, the colors, it's like entering a new world.
Oh, he's like way out in the ocean. Dude, that's awesome.
Aquaman, Jawan, he's out there. Jeremy, how do you figure out how to do this? Like, how do you spearfish when you're out there swimming? Do you take lessons at home? What's the plan?
I mean, I don't know how much you can practice spearfishing. I think that everybody, if you're going to go on Survivor, try to practice everything, you know, whether it's weaving palm fronds, starting fire, spearfishing, you know what I mean? Cleaning fish. So you're going to be out there winging it. And there's enough winging it out there. So try to minimize that number and control what you can control.
Yeah, cool.
I want to take this moment in a different direction. We're always so good about the how and the why. I'm just going to take a stab at pontificating for a moment.
Okay.
We skipped over this line. I'm no Aussie. I'm a small black nerd from Jersey, and went right into, hey, should you prepare to spearfish? One of the biggest things I struggle with on this show is trying to make everybody happy. Some people want this season of Survivor. Other people want this season. I wish this player would come back. I don't like these types of players. And so far, all we've had on this episode is some of the most emotional, dramatic, transformational, life adventure stuff. You can get all kinds of fun stuff on lots of other unscripted game shows. They're great. They're fun to play. You don't get this anywhere else.
No.
And I'm being reminded right now, and this is going to irritate a lot of people, this is where Survivor is. This is where Survivor's heading. So if you don't like it, find another show, because I'm very moved by Christina showing up and taking this on. I'm super moved by Juwan. And you know what I also thought? The reason I like Juwan so much is because he reminds me of myself. I'm no Aussie either, but I would like to be vulnerable enough to get in with a spearfish and see if I could do it. Yeah, that's the idea behind Survivor. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I offered rice on day 19, and once again, they turned me down. Has Rice left the island? Are the players changing the format? We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to On Fire, the only official Survivor podcast. All right, Jay, what's the next moment?
I'm just going to play us in here.
What else can we do today? We just hanging out?
Let's write an actual song and perform it in front of everyone.
Yeah, I'm down to.
I mean, I'm down to actually do a boy band after this. That would be hilarious.
Then you better start working on something.
3 boys on a bench. 3 boys on a bench. 3 boys on a bench.
Sitting here, you throw me a wrench. I don't know how to rhyme, so I just start talking in beats. Here we go. I'm gonna pass the beat over to Juwan. Please don't kick me out of the boy band, 'cause I suck.
Here we go. 3 boys on a bench. 3 boys on a bench. 3 boys on a bench. 3 boys on a bench.
When you have downtime on Survivor, the only logical thing to do is to obviously start a boy band.
Or don't start a boy band.
Yeah, I don't know, Steven. I don't know if it's in your future. I'm just curious. We also feel like we are 3 boys on a bench. Would you guys agree with that?
I think we are. I think
Okay.
Our hits would be better than their hits. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, go, Jeremy. Start.
No.
All right, let's get to a real moment. Let's talk about Rice. Jeff, another Rice negotiation, another absolute denial. I just want to hear from Rizzo.
Rizzo, what's your take on this? Walk me through the dilemma of why this is even a consideration.
Not to burst your bubble, Jeff, but for me, it's not even a consideration. And what's pushing me is the fact that I'm a 1 in 8 shot of being a millionaire. I can get Rice 7 days from now. I can't get a 1 in 8 shot of being a millionaire.
It seems to me, Jeff, like this is where things are going. If you look at the average over the course of the last few seasons, we've seen a few straight no's. There was a one-off where everybody traded in their shot in the dark, which was certainly a move. Do you feel like you're approaching a point where on Survivor, Rice is not even worth offering?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's an evolving situation, and it makes me very happy because I love it when the players evolve the game. To your point, if you go back to Survivor 41, they were shocked that there was no food. And when I gave them an opportunity for Rice, they all negotiated with each other about who should sit out. And then, as you said, shot in the darks got used one time in the negotiation. And now it's like, I think we're good.
Yeah.
So, you know, who knows for Survivor 50 because the fans voted on that. They had the opportunity to give the players food or give the players supplies. But with Survivor 51 and beyond, maybe we revisit this. It's undecided.
Jeremy, you never went a day without Rice on Survivor. There's now 9 seasons of the new era in where they went without it. When you're out there and you're thinking about this Rice decision, when would you be willing to give up your shot at immunity in order to get the nutrition that you need in order to advance yourself further in the game?
Right.
And so it's never good to give up your shot at immunity. You don't want to give up your shot and then you eat and then you get voted out that night. That's the worst. The worst thing to ever do is be eating the next day as much rice as you want because you gave up your shot.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than that. And when I played, I never wanted to give up. You know, I played on a season where we would give up all our comforts. Oh, Jeff is here.
Right.
He's going to take everything from us. All our tarps, our pillows, our chairs. He's taking everything for a bag of rice. And I'm like, We can eat tomorrow. The merge is coming. So I'm never comfortable with that, but this is the new era. The new era is there is no food, so I don't know how everybody else is feeling out there. And when they don't eat at all, I don't know how they feel. And old survivors, they need to get ready for that because we're not used to not having anything.
All right, well, I want to go to the outcome of the challenge. First off, Teeter Tunnel, great name. Shout out to whoever came up with that. But I want to talk about Sophie. She racks up her second immunity. It's now Savannah 2. Sophie 2. Steven has 1. I'd put an asterisk on that because Savannah and Sophie both went longer. Jeremy, what is it about immunity streaks? Is it really that 1 or 2 players are just all around better at this? Or is there some strategy in realizing maybe I take a back seat behind these challenge beasts?
I mean, I think some people are just better. You know, Joey amazing.
Right.
Terry Dietz and Chrissy, like.
We just talked about Ozzy.
Yeah, Ozzy. They're challenge beasts. You know, people are just really good. But I think when you get that momentum and that confidence, if you can put together 2 wins in a row, confidence goes a long way out there. And it also hurts the other people because everybody else in your tribe is thinking, oh, man, Jeff is really good at these challenges. Jay just knocked off 2 challenges right now. We got to get him out. He's going to just keep going on a run. So it works both ways.
Yeah.
Jeremy, would you worry if you won 2 immunity challenges in a row? Would you think about the next time that you go up there, maybe I need to not win?
So I'm going to tell you this, Jay. I thought I was going to be a challenge beast. I was like, listen, I don't need that target on my back, so I'm going to slow play it. So my first couple challenges, I was chilling. I played with some challenge beasts already. I don't need that target on my back. So I chilled. And then I said, you know, it's time to ramp it up a little bit now. And I still sucked. I don't know. It's just so tough. Those challenges are so tough. I can't ramp it up. It's just some people are just good at it and some people just aren't.
I also wonder, Jay, if there's something to the idea of once you know you can do it, then you know you can do it again. Like the mile back in track and field, nobody could run a mile under 4 minutes. And then a guy did. In the 50s, Roger Bannister ran a mile under 4 minutes. And suddenly, lots of people started running the mile under 4 minutes because they knew it was possible. Yeah. So I think to Jeremy's point, that idea of confidence is really interesting because most people on Survivor don't compete in challenges like this. That's not part of our daily lives.
That's not how it goes. Yeah.
And then you get out here and you win a balancing thing. You're like, oh, turns out I'm pretty good at balancing. And then the next time you win something where you have to shoot balls and you're like, man, I'm better at these challenges than I thought. Yes, exactly. You are. Yes. And now you got the mojo. And to Jeremy's point, now you also have the other side of that, which is you got the target.
All right. I want to go next to the beach. There are so many plans being hatched. It all came down to my man Jeff's favorite word, uncertainty. Thank you. Let's hear from Sophie.
This tribal tonight could go down as one of the craziest in history. We have potentially 2 idols. We have an extra vote. We have Sage's name, Jawan's name, Steven's name, all being thrown out there. Can it get more crazy than this? I don't know if it can.
Jeremy, you played during Winners at War, season 40, available now on Paramount Plus, whatever you're doing. As soon as you're finished with this podcast, maybe take a loop back. There were a lot of weapons on that season, a lot of idols, a lot of advantages, a lot of things going on all the time. Since you can never trust a vote, what advice would you have for a player coming into this game in a situation where all of a sudden there are all of these weapons and all of these backup plans?
Okay, so I've been on seasons where we would have a vote and it was a clear-cut vote. And I'm going crazy. I'm like, what if they have this? What if they have that? So we would do a lot of running around for hours on the beach trying to figure out the backup plan to the backup plan. And then the vote comes out and the person that was supposed to go home goes home. Then the very next time, I'm like, I'm not running around. That was a lot the other day. We're not doing that again. We have a clear-cut vote. Let's just stick with it. And then an idol comes out or something. So now you have to go and get a backup plan to a backup plan to in real time. Right. So my advice, just get the backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan.
Yeah.
Do the hard work. Survivor's not easy, right? So do the legwork, even if you don't need it. Just do it.
Hold on, I got to pull out the podium again. I got to stand up on my soapbox. Hang on, let me just slide this over. Okay, here we go. Here's the other thing I hear from people all the time. There's too many twists. You shouldn't have idols. Okay, to Jeremy's point, without any threat of something being in the game, the vote is easy. There are 5 of us and 4 of them, and it's a done deal. That's why they're in the game. So when you think about Survivor without all of this, just actually spend a little time and think about how the game would play. Jeremy, am I wrong about this?
No, you're right. You're right. Keep going. You're right.
Okay. So I'm just saying, if you want the old school Survivor, I get it. I would say go watch an old season, because the reason it worked then is the game wasn't as sophisticated. The players hadn't figured everything out. By the time Jeremy gets to second chance, they know how to play this game.
Yeah.
And if you aren't on your toes, then you're out, unless you have something that can turn the game. And that uncertainty is what leads to Sophie saying this could be one of the craziest tribals in history, because there are idols and advantages in play. All right, I'm done. You can take the soapbox, team. Thank you so much. All right, let's take one more break, and then we'll head to a crazy tribal council where Rizzo finally played an idol, just not a real one. We'll be right back. Welcome back to On Fire. Okay, final moment of the episode, Jay. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we are going to head to Tribal Council. We saw Christina's idol get played. We saw an extra vote that was played. We also saw this.
Yeah, let's have a little bit of fun here. So, do I have a couple words that I can say to the class?
Of course.
Thank you. All right. So I feel like a lot has happened, and I feel like this vote is truly going to show who's with me or who's not. And I have to do what's best to protect myself in this game. And for that very reason, I'm playing it for Savannah.
This is not a hidden immunity idol.
Bro, what
Wait,
the hell?
what? Are you
Bro,
serious?
Riz? Are you kidding me, bro?
Any votes cast for Savannah will still count.
Do I need to get the soapbox out again, or is the point made?
Let's leave the soapbox where it's at for the moment. I just wanted to say, were we surprised by this showy move from Rizzo?
Well, I can tell you I was. Jay, here's the thing. You got to remember, in that moment, I don't have any idea what Rizzo's going to do. I don't know what he's going to present to me, or for whom he might play whatever he presents to me. And our idols today are so basic that it is very easy to fake one. And that's by design. That's why we make them basic, so that players can create fake ones. And then it becomes about your ability to persuade. So I am slightly panicked going, I want to see in his hand. I'm looking for a clue. What's in his hand? Is that the real idol, or is this a fake one? Because I don't know. And it's not like there is any clue on the idol. I have to know exactly what the idol looks like. And that's, I'm telling you, that's not quite as easy as you think it should be. But it's electrifying for me, because I am very much alive going, Rizzo, can you at least just open your palm a little so I can get a peek at what you got going on in there?
Yes.
Well, I actually think there's some strategy here, or at least I hope there is, besides showing off for the jury. Is there another reason, Jeremy, that Rizzo decides that he wants to have this public display?
He definitely was showing off, which is good. You want to show for the jury.
Right.
But I just didn't see it where it would matter, unless if Rizzo and Savannah talked about this and said, I'm going to play the idol, a fake idol, and I want to see if you could see everybody's reaction.
There you go.
So if that's the case, I'm like, that's great strategy, great gamesmanship. I thought that was wonderful. I will say, Survivor's a roller coaster. It's ups and downs so much every day, every hour. And Rizzo right now is riding high. He seems so confident and sure of himself. And to me, it's scary how comfortable he is out there. And you guys talked about it, how Rizzo said this is where the game is won and lost and stuff. Yeah. But I've been there where I was really confident, And then I went home. So I'm hoping Rizzo chills out because that's going to be a deep dip because he's riding so high right now on that roller coaster.
Yeah, you got to look out for those dips. I would just wonder if at this point Rizzo really does need to get ready to play his real idol. I think that he can't keep it after this.
Yes. I agree. He got to get rid of it now.
Next time on Survivor.
Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, ultimately Juwan's plan to shake up the game led to his demise. We talked a little bit about Juwan earlier in this episode. Man, I love Juwan. I'm hitting my chest right now. I really love watching him. He was amazing.
Yes, I love Juwan. Juwan was good.
Jeff, I'd love your thoughts on Juwan as he joins the jury.
Well, I looked at my notes, as I always do. The very first thing I wrote, which must have been after I first talked to Juwan, was, it took me just a minute to find who he is, but once I found him, I love him. He's very earnest. I'm really drawn. I root for him big time. He's a very likable young man, super soulful, vulnerable, very deep. Then when we got to CBS, capital letters, awesome, so likable. Then in person, very confident when he walked in, great energy. I love his smile, so likable instantly, and the room loved him. And that is always the final piece when the person walks out and everybody goes, oh my gosh, you mean he's going to be on our show? You know, we get that excited about it.
Yeah, no, I bet that was exciting. The last thing I want to mention before we get into questions, he did take Rizzo's torch with him.
Yeah, he did.
What happened there?
So I will say, when I was first blindsided on my first season in 29, I didn't see it coming at all. I thought the day I went home, I'm going to tell you, I said, I'm going to win this game.
Wow.
I said, well, we just took out Josh. They don't know what they're doing over there. I have this. I said, I have a lot of work to do, I know, but this game's over. And that night, my own alliance turned their back on me. So I was so shell-shocked, you know? And I will say, when I went to go get my torch, I'm in a fog. It was like a dream, you know? Like, so I feel when he grabs a torch that's not his, I feel it. You know, it's a real thing.
And I know the question is, so what happens? In this case, we gave Rizzo back his torch. But what I think is interesting is the mojo of Survivor, to Jeremy's idea, this deep dip, is that foreshadowing of what's to come?
That is a spooky situation, a torch that has been snuffed and relit. I don't know about the juju on that. Let's get to some fan questions. As a reminder, you email us at survivorshoutout@cbs.com, and I literally read every email in the inbox, including yours, and then I might read it here, like this one from Maggie that says, hi, Jeff, Jay, and Jeremy. For upcoming seasons that have returning players like season 50, what happens when some of the players have already lived on those islands and beaches? Or are there enough camps that this wouldn't be a problem? Is this something that you even consider?
Yeah, it's a really good question because it is something we have to consider. Yes, because we have been in Fiji for so long, it's quite likely that a returning player, especially from the new era, might find themselves on the beach that they've been on before. It is a little misleading in that from the time we finish production to the time that we begin again next year, those islands can change quite a bit due to weather and other conditions. So there might be certain landmarks of an island that make it recognizable, but in terms of it having really any big impact on the game, I'd say it's minimal to nothing.
All right, next question comes from both Ryan and Lindsay. They say, hey, Triple J, we're huge fans of Survivor, love the podcast, been fans since the year 2000. We also happen to love shark teeth. And we just got back from digging for megalodon fossils in Aurora last week. So when we saw this season's immunity idol, we were so excited. The teeth look real, so that's the question. Are they actual shark teeth?
Man, talk about taking an adventure.
For real.
No, those are not real shark teeth, but they are molded after real shark teeth, for sure. Just to take you inside the process of making something like the immunity necklace, it is so fun to drop into the art department. I'll do this like 3 days before we start shooting just to get an update on where everything is. And what you see is magical. Imagine that you have this very large tent, very tall, 20 feet, 30 feet high, 100 yards long. And inside that very large tent is an entire community of artisans So you might have some people that are at a saw and they're cutting an intricate piece of a puzzle. Somebody else is doing some very tiny and delicate art, like making a new immunity idol. And a bit further down is somebody else, and they're working on the first mold for the snuffer. And next to them is somebody with shark teeth. And they're figuring out which ones are the right size for this season's immunity necklace. So I say it all the time, but it is the favorite place to visit for anyone who is lucky enough to come to base camp.
Yeah. I assume that they're all proud of it too, you know, when they see their work on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And for us, we look at it and say, did you see the idol? You know, did you see the immunity necklace? Like, well, it's huge for us to even look at it, you know?
I love hearing that. And I see that in the players' faces. And I think we've talked about this before, Jay, but the craziest part, Jeremy, is how many things we make that don't get used.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they just don't come into play, or somebody doesn't find them, or somebody doesn't win that reward, whatever it is. And the artists are in there going, well, maybe next season. I'll build it again next year.
Boom, 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 boom.
Speaking of things that haven't come into play, Sophie, that knowledge's power is burning a hole in my pocket. Last question comes from Dalton. They write, hey, Jeff, I love music and I listen to my carefully curated playlists every single day. I think I would go nuts without music for 26 days. Has music ever been considered for a reward? And if not, would you be open to it? Because margaritas on the beach listening to the Beach Boys would be a next level experience.
Yes, Dalton, it is a very tempting idea because you're right. Music creates a mood and it would bring joy and all of this. Here's the issue. If you have actual music playing in the background, then you can't edit the scene, because what happens is, let's say you're on a reward. That reward might last 3 hours. But in terms of screen time, it's going to be 5 minutes. So that means you have to truncate everything and shorten it. And if the music's playing, that means you're going to be jumping all over the place with your music. It's a very fundamental thing you learn when you're starting to make movies, is how important audio is, not only just for the quality, but how it works within a scene. So I'll give you an example. If you're watching your favorite TV show and maybe there's a scene that takes place in a bar, and there's a band up on the stage and the band is playing music while a couple is talking. They're having a romantic date. What's really happening when you shoot that scene is that when the couple is talking, that's it. No other words are being said, no music being played. So if there are extras in a scene, they're pretending to talk by moving their mouth, but they're not saying anything. If the band is in the shot, they're pretending to play, but they're not playing anything. Then you turn around and you shoot the band and you have only the band play. And then you cut it together so that you have the two actors with clean audio, and then you have the band in the background with clean audio, and you can merge them together as you want. But it is two separate pieces of audio. Look at that, Jay. A simple little question about music, and suddenly I've got the soapbox back out again. Somebody stuffed my torch. Oh, wait, I'll just do it myself. Okay, that's it for this week's episode of On Fire. Hey, if you got a set, go rate the show wherever you're listening to it.
And if you're a Survivor legend, you could leave a review like this one that comes from JBN. And JB says, I was not interested at first, despite having seen every episode of every season. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. But I had a longer drive, so I listened. Overall, I like it, and it helped me catch some nuances I missed. I'll keep listening, and I've gone back to the first season of the podcast.
Okay.
At least he's in.
I have to say, I picked these, obviously, and I chose this one because I just respect the honesty, JB. And I wasn't into it at first, but you know what? It's fine.
I do too. I like it. All right, there's a brand new episode of Survivor every Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on CBS and Paramount Plus, and immediately following the episode, there's a new episode of this podcast, On Fire. See you then. Follow and listen to On Fire on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
3 boys on a bench.
Hey, 3 boys on a bench.